What could possibly break apart one of the most beloved singing groups in American history? For years, audiences adored the Andrews Sisters, Patty Maxine and Laverne, whose tight harmonies and infectious energy made them the soundtrack of the World War II era. They weren't just entertainers. They were morale boosters for soldiers overseas, a symbol of hope during one of the darkest times in history. But behind their perfectly synchronized voices and radiant smiles, a storm was brewing. The viral hook is this: the part of the story that grabs your attention, convincing you to keep listening. Because the real reason the Andrews Sisters stopped singing together isn't just Shakinitsa. It's heartbreaking. The Andrews Sisters rose to fame in the late 1930s, with hits like Baymir Bis Du Schön, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, and Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Their voices blended so flawlessly that it seemed as though they were destined to sing together forever. They became one of the best-selling female groups of all time, selling over 90 million records. But as is often the case in show business, what the public saw on stage didn't reflect the private battles behind the curtain. At the center of the tension was Patty, the youngest sister and often the lead vocalist, while Maxine and Laverne provided strong harmonies. It was Patty's voice that was pushed to the forefront by managers and record companies. This dynamic created resentment that simmered quietly for years. Maxine and Laverne began to feel overshadowed, believing that Patty was treated as the star of the trio while their contributions were overlooked. The unity that fans adored on stage was beginning to fracture offstage. Things came to a breaking point in the 1950s. Patty shocked her sisters and fans alike when she decided to break away and pursue a solo career. It wasn't just a professional decision, it was personal. Maxine and Laverne saw it as a betrayal. For them, the group wasn't just about music. It was about family. But for Patty, the constant fighting and the desire to step out of her sister's shadow pushed her to walk away. This decision led to an estrangement so deep that the sisters didn't even speak to each other for years. The heartbreak didn't end there. Laverne, the eldest, was diagnosed with cancer in the late 1960s. Even in the face of her illness, the sisters remained divided. Patty and Maxine barely reconciled in time to say their goodbyes. Laverne's death in 1967 not only ended the trio's career permanently, but also left a painful void that neither sister could ever truly heal. The loss forced Patty and Maxine to confront the bitterness that had kept them apart for so long. But by then, too much damage had already been done. Even after Laverne's passing, the rift between Patty and Maxine continued. They attempted a few reunions on stage, but the warmth and closeness that fans remembered was gone. Behind the smiles, there was coldness. Interviews from the time show that the wounds ran deep, with each sister pointing blame at the other for the collapse of their legacy. It wasn't just creative differences, it was a family torn apart by jealousy, pride, and miscommunication. The truth is, the Andrews Sisters didn't just stop singing together because of career choices. They stopped because of heartbreak, resentment, and wounds that never fully healed. Their story is a sobering reminder that even the most beautiful harmonies can hide the deepest discord. So when we look back at the Andrews Sisters, we remember the joy they brought to millions of soldiers they comforted, the families they uplifted, the music that still makes us tap our feet today. But behind those harmonies was a painful truth. Fame had a price. And for the Andrews Sisters, that price was the very bond that made them unforgettable.